Hello there, my name is Don and this is the model of a house that I made. It's the model of a house that used to stand in the Notting Hill area of London. It's not there anymore, it was demolished in the early 70s. But in the 1940s and 50s it became one of the most notorious addresses in London. In fact, it became one of the most popular tourist attractions. It was the 10th house in a row of 10 Victorian terraced houses in a place called Rillington Place. So the address was 10 Rillington Place. In the 1940s it became the home of John Christie. He was a serial killer and the house became complicit in the murders. Christie gassed, strangled and murdered 6 women and hid their bodies throughout the house, and it's quite likely that he was the killer of 8 people that were found in and around the house. I'll just show you the rest of the house. One of the bodies was found in the living room, just here. And at the back of the house now, you'll see the kitchen where 3 more bodies were hid in an alcove at the back of the kitchen. 2 bodies were found in the wash house, and then 2 more bodies found in the back garden. I'll just give you a tour of the house and garden, and then the rest of the video will be how I went about making the model. So this is how I went about making the House of Horror at 10 Rillington Place. So I used 3mm cardboard and then roughly work out where the doors and windows will go. The only source I have are old photographs from 1953 on the internet showing you some useful and some not quite so useful photos that I can gauge where the doors and windows go. So once I've done that roughly, then I can mark out pretty much exactly where the windows go with all the mouldings, where the mouldings of the building go. And then I've made up a mock-up of the bay window there. So once I've got the door, the bay window and the upstairs windows in place, I can start to put the mouldings all around. So that will go on the top like so, and there are 2 like imitation columns either side of the door, so they will go there, and then this effect on the side of the building all the way up there. So I'll go ahead and cut out all the windows and add all the mouldings, and I'll be back in a moment. So I've cut out the windows and doors and fitted the bay window, filled the gap where I scored the 3mm cardboard with filler, and again having to look at the images on Google of the old 1950s press photographs. I think it's a pretty good representation of of the front of 10 Rillington Place. I've made the sash cord windows that fit all around the house. They will, when they're glazed, they will go there, as in all the windows. My next job, which I'm not really looking forward to, is fixing the bricks. If you can just see the bricks I made, they're 1/35 scale, and they'll have to be stuck individually all around the front of the house there. So could take some time. But there we have the front of the house, which is probably the most difficult. And I'll be back later and we'll see it all bricked up, and see you later. So I've completed the brickwork on the front of the house. Stuck each brick individually. I used PVA glue, and I think you can just about see the effect of the brickwork there. It looks quite realistic. There we go. I left a slight gap between the bricks to allow for the mortar. And the mortar was a mixture of filler, just ordinary wall filler, with just a little bit of water and some black paint to give it a grey colour, and then mixed that up and daubed that in between the bricks to give the effect of the mortar. And then before that was dry, I'd go over with a damp sponge just to leave the mortar between the bricks, but take off the grey off the surface of the bricks, so it just leaves the red brick. Okay, and then I mixed up a black wash, which is just paint, a very diluted black paint, and then brushed the whole thing over with that, and then daubed off the excess with a sponge, which I did with the bottom half as well. Most of the photographs of Rillington Place are in black and white. I did find a coloured photograph, but I think given the subject matter, black and white, or grey anyway, is more in keeping. So that's pretty much the front of the house complete, although I will obviously glaze all the windows and finish the paint work a bit later. Okay, so then we start on the back of the house. So that will be the front, that will be the back. It's difficult to know the shape of the roof. You can see that there are a few photographs of the back of the house, and you can see the inverted apex roof shape there, which is a strange design, but there you go. So it's difficult to know what's going on here. So when the front of the house is fixed on there, is there an apex part of the roof there, or is it this shape all the way to the front? It's difficult to know, but there is a video of Rillington Place being demolished sometime in the 60s, I believe. And you can just about make out from the guys that are tearing the place apart, you can just about make out the shape goes all the way along there. That's how I'm doing it anyway. So I shall continue with the back part of the house. The kitchen will fit just there, and then more brickwork on the back, and I'll be back in a moment. So I've now attached the front of the house to the rear. Got all the chimney stacks on the top there. There's 4 of them. And if I turn it more, I've made the outbuildings, still all with 3mm cardboard. The kitchen there and the outbuilding there. I've made the chimney stacks, the main chimney stack there for for the kitchen, and I've painted it in a solution of water and filler, which will adhere to the tile grout that I shall use to make the rest of the brickwork. I don't intend using individual bricks for the rest of the house. It'll probably take the rest of my life. So I should make the brickwork a little more easier for the rest of the house. So I'll carry on with the filler and then do some more of the brickwork later. So that's the brickwork at the back of the house now. I put the bricks on one brick at a time for the wash house and the kitchen, but I got a bit sick of doing that, so I did the back of the house a different way. I can show you that in a different video how I did that. Windowsills are in now, so all we need to do now is windows and doors. So I just cut a piece of 2mm cardboard and put the card behind the window to mark out the position of the window, and then they're all sash cord windows in the house, so I cut the shape accordingly. Then paint it white. Sash cord windows were not usually white, and then just a dry brush with black paint over the top just to distress them, weather them a little. So when that's done, I glaze them with, I've used a yellow plastic sheet just to make it look a little more ominous. That will sit behind the window there, and then an offcut of net curtain will go behind that, just to finish the window off. I did the front, so you can see the windows are in the front. They'll need a little bit more weathering once everything's completed and the bay window is in. So for the doors, pretty much the same principle. Well, if I show you this, most doors were panelled doors like this. That will sit on there and be painted. That will be the back door, and this is already stuck on. This will, when it's painted, will go behind there. Top part is glazed and then a panel door below. So I'll get on and do that and see you in a moment. Well, I went ahead and finished the project. All the windows in the back there, tiled roof, which I explained how to make on a previous video. I made the doors for the wash house and the toilet area back there, and then made the garden. Again, looking at photographs on YouTube, on the internet, it's as close as I could make to those photos. So the drain pipes are in chimney pots. It's as close as I could get to the original. So that's my version of 10 Rillington Place. If you have a go at making it yourself, I'd be pleased to see what you come up with. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next video. Just need to add the usual: if you like what you have seen, please click the like and the subscribe button. That will all be very helpful to me.